Hello. Hello, everyone. I was just live, waiting for folks to come in. Waiting for folks to come in. Oh, we're starting to get some joiners. I was just live, and I came back live. I came back on because I wanted to share something. And it's relevant to what I've been trying to do. It's relevant to what we've been talking about. So I'm doing this color cube challenge. I'm talking about how you can't do art wrong. I'm talking about it is a simple fact that sometimes I do ugly art. So does everyone, but not to be afraid of it, because there's always something that we learn and that comes out of it. And this is a prime example. So this is my color palette. It's charcoal and Kelly green and hunter green and like this peachy pinky color and clay, right? This is the inspiration. I didn't want to paint that. So I started doing some abstract stuff. And this is ugly. This is really ugly. I mean, it might appeal to some, but it's just a hot mess of stuff that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's a terrible composition. But I was playing around with a palette knife and I really didn't know what to paint. And so this is what happened. It's a hot mess. No matter which way I turn it, I don't really care for it. It's probably going to be cut up once it's dry and used for scrap paper of some kind, probably collage. But it's ugly, right? And then I was like, I still want to paint. And then all of a sudden the ideas started flowing. So my point is, even though I started here, even though this ugly art happened here, we got something that's probably going to work out next. And it's all because all I had to do was start. It's all because I picked up the paint. It's all because I picked up my brush. It's all because I trusted the process. And I trusted that God would give me the inspiration that I needed. But sometimes we have to just play around with our tools and our materials and let go of what the day has given us, all the stress and the tiredness and the not feeling good and the the kids and the expectations, all of that showed up right here in this hot mess. Because literally when I started painting, this is how my brain looked. This is how I was feeling. After I got all that junk out, I'm like, oh, let's do the charcoal this way. And we're going to add a little bit of brown right on the side here to give it some shading. Maybe right around the rim. And then you know what's coming up here? Right, we're going to do flowers, which is really what I was trying to get to anyway, but I had to get the mess out of my head before I could get to the creativity. So we talked about last night that I was listening to a doctor of psychology. She wrote a book. I don't remember her name. I will figure it out and talk about it later again. But she was talking about how when our anxiety is high, our creativity is non-existent, and vice versa. They run on two different systems. And I think we have proof in the pudding there. And I normally don't come back on to a second live, but I just had to come back on and share this little tidbit of education and knowledge that and reminders that I gave myself, because it is truth. And as I was all of a sudden finding some of my composition and finding some of my sane, calm, peaceful voice, I was looking at this hodgepodge of a mess going, well, this was necessary. This was necessary to get to this. And I think people quit when they have this and they quit before they get to this. But I'm telling you, folks, this was necessary. This ugly, hot mess was necessary to break through to this. So keep picking up the paintbrush. Keep picking up the woodworking. Keep picking up whatever, working in the kitchen, whatever it is that you do to ground yourself and get creative, to free your brain and get rid of that anxiety. Keep doing it. And don't quit if something looks a little ugly. Don't stop there. Move forward. Keep going. Keep pushing through. Because God's got you. He's got you. Sometimes we have to go through the ugly mess to get to what is in store for us. So I'm not saying that this is the best and coolest and most beautiful composition in the world, but I will tell you it sure beats this. And it's a step in the right direction. That's all I'm saying. And we're going to make this lovely pot of greenery. And, it took two different tries to satisfy my composition this time. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all is wrong with that. So now we have something that's actually turning out to be quite lovely. Right? But again, it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have had that ugly first. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot. And we've already got all of our colors in here except for one, and that is our apricot color. And I need to make that color. And that is the color that kind of threw me off last time. But we are equipped this time, aren't we? We are equipped with a new idea. How awesome. So what I'm thinking about is, those orchids, they have this center. I'm going to try to and then we have sunflowers that yeah. We're already miles and miles away from where we were on that other painting. How about you guys? What kinds of revelations have you had when you've had to break through some pretty rough circumstance? See, this is going to not be the way I want it to be. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, right? We don't just stop. We continue.
The NYPD has been handcuffed by City Hall.
The NYPD hasn't been handcuffed by anybody, and frankly, they need constant supervision. It's one of the reasons I'm considering a return to a commission of police rather than one police commissioner.
I'm not sure I understand.
It's not a new concept. Teddy Roosevelt was the president of the police commission. He was one of many commissioners.
Are you saying you want to fire Commissioner Reagan?
No. I am suggesting a 5-person police commission, each one of a diverse background, would better reflect the city we live in.
There. I like that. I like that.
Hey. Church? This is a new one. Is the commissioner coming? start with, what the hell happened out there?
You could have blown my cover, boss.
Fair, I didn't.
Yeah, we should have known I was in there.
How?
Did you work through safety net first? You know I was undercover.
Yeah, but I didn't know where, and no one told me where. Also, I've been working this drug case since way before you went under.
Yeah, but your guy didn't even have enough drugs on him for an 8th felony.
My CI confirms that this guy Ruiz not only sells drugs, but also gets underage girls hooked on them.
What's your CI's connection to Ruiz?
She met him when her sister started dating him. Ruiz got his sister hooked on drugs.
What? Just realized I'm not talking and I'm very quiet. I apologize.
Operation today was a waste of time.
I get lost in my...
Say that again.
My team's gonna stay on his ass, okay? And I can get them to expand the case to include the human trafficking.
I get lost in my
I'm not working a joint operation here.
We can get off the drugs.
creation here. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more of these
Hey, take it easy now.
little dotty things over here.
I don't need to have to start worrying about him too.
You don't have to worry about it.
Good. I won't. I'm gone too long. They start getting suspicious.
I've been on this case for 3 months. I'm not bad.
All right, here we go. And there we have it. Oh, we turned yuck into something actually really kind of pretty.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know, Helen's. First I heard of it.
Really? He gave the interview this morning.
Must have missed it.
Well, you just heard it from me then. What's your reaction?
All right. What do you guys think? Way better, right? Way better than what we started with. So, that is my tidbit for tonight. Lesson learned. Sometimes you gotta do ugly work to get rid of all the garbage in your head that you carried into that painting so you can find the good behind the end of it all. Thanks for listening.